Hello traders and welcome to the video presentation of the NonLagMA Expert Advisor by RobotFX. This is an expert advisor designed to trade with the trend, also to trail, hedge, and so on. Basically everything what a good expert advisor or an all-in-one expert advisor can do. You'll find it to download on the robotfx.org website. It can be downloaded for free to trade on your demo account, so go ahead and try it. And in a nutshell, your chart will look kind of like this. Although the indicator that the expert advisor uses, which appears on this chart to determine the trend, the thick line, and to enter the trades, the thin line following the price, does not have to be attached on the chart. So after you find its settings and enter the settings in the expert advisor inputs, then you can remove the indicator from the chart for a more clear experience and make it chart experience. Now let's go to the MetaTrader and very fast explain the settings. I will try not to go into too many details like how to trade with the trend and so on. But well, in a nutshell, when you trade with the trend, which is what this expert advisor does, you want to sell when the price is falling, then buy when the price is rising. So we have sell, buy, sell, buy. With that being said, there are two ways that the expert advisor determines the trend, and one of them, there are three ways, and one of them is the NonLagMA indicator or the trend detector color. You'll find this in the expert advisor settings right here. Determine the trend by trend color, price position, or trend color and price position. About the color, the expert advisor will consider a downtrend when the indicator is black, which is downtrend color for me. You can change the color in its settings. So black is for me means down and white means up trend. So the expert advisor will have considered selling from here until here, for example, and then it will focus on buying because the trend changed into white. And this is how the expert advisor uses the first option to determine the trend by the trend color. The next option was to determine the trend by the price position. That means that the expert advisor will sell only when the price is under the moving average. So for this period, we would have had a downtrend according to these settings, and then we would have an uptrend for a short period of time, and then we have a downtrend again, and so on. And then there was the third option that the expert advisor can determine the trend, and this is both of this trend color and price position. So what that means, it means that although we had a downtrend and a black color of the trend detector from here until here, this period of time, for this period of time, we might have some trading signals ignored, some sell signals ignored, because the price was above the trend detector, above the moving average, even though its color was black. This is how the expert advisor determines the trend. Now, you will find that by changing the period of the non-lag moving average, decrease it, for example, will make the indicator follow the price more closely and change the color too often, which is, if I change it to 100, as I did right now, does not reflect the trend very well. I suggest you start from 200, but again, this depends on your time frame on the trading chart. 200 should be a good value to start. I wouldn't go higher than 250. So this is what 200 looks like. I want to get rid of this white color right here. Color change, and I'll set it to 150, and this is perfect for this chart, this period of time. After that, you have to go to the expert advisor settings. I want to use only the color and enter the settings of the indicators in the expert advisor field, the trend length, choose the time frame. By default, I'm using the current time frame. I leave the shift and the deviation to 0. This makes the indicator move up, down, left, right. You probably know that already. And then let's go to the signal length. The signal length is the same indicator with different settings, with much lower settings. On my chart right here, it has 21. Again, if you decrease this value, the indicator will change the color too often, which will lead to by following the price more closely, which will lead to more signals, but also might lead to more fake signals. What you don't want, I think, or you should not want the expert advisor to open more trades or lots of trades in a short period of time, as it happens here. 1, 2, 3, 4 times it changed the color, and then maybe the price will reverse. So you will have to find a good value to reflect the color change, because this is where or when the expert advisor will enter a trade in an uptrend. It will enter a trade when the color of the signal will change from black into white. So here would have been a trade. This would have been ignored. I will explain to you why when I will explain the settings. This might have been a trade entry. This would have been a good trade entry. And one happened right here. And this is how, again, the expert advisor determines the trend, determines the entries using the same indicator. You can also increase the period even more. And then the NonLagMA indicator will change the color even less. Will be even more loose. However, I was happy with 21 for this chart. So I will enter 21 in the signal settings under the signal length. Again, I don't use the shift. And this is it. This is how the expert advisor works using this indicator. And this concludes the first part of this video, how the NonLagMA Expert Advisor determines the trend and trades by using the NonLagMA indicator. Next, I'm going to explain the settings one by one, and by doing that, I hope you will reach the conclusion that this is everything you need to trade with the trend. Basically, the NonLagMA indicator, the NonLagMA Expert Advisor, it's an all-in-one trend trading expert advisor. And if you are a trend trader, you will not need any other indicators or expert advisors. Now, let's see the settings. Okay, so the settings start with the client email. That is not needed if you are using the expert advisor on a demo account. So if you have downloaded it from the website to try it, ignore this. Next, we start with a trading days and trading sessions filter. And starting with the trading days, the trader has the possibility to filter trading based on the days of the week. So basically, if you think Friday might be too much volatility, you don't want to trade on Fridays, just set Friday to false. And so with any other day that you don't want to trade. Also, the expert advisor has an NFP filter, the NFP Friday, which stands for, by the way, non-farm payroll. If you don't know, it's usually a day of high volatility. So if you don't like high volatility, and you prefer a stable market, just set the NFP Friday to false, and expert advisor will not trade the non-farm payroll. And it can also be instructed not to trade the day before that Friday, which always will be a Thursday, the first day before NFP. So with these settings, the expert advisor will not trade on Friday, NFP, or Friday, and also the day before the NFP. That would be once in a month, by the way. There's a possibility for the expert advisor not to restrict trading during the winter holidays, for Christmas holidays, or also New Year's holidays. So if you don't want the expert advisor to trade on Christmas holidays, you have to, first of all, have the Christmas holidays set to false. And then enter the date when you want the Christmas holiday to start. In these settings, the expert advisor will stop trading from 20th of December until the end of the year. And to extend that period of non-trading to the next year, you have to disable the New Year's holiday. So disable trading in the New Year's holiday and enter the date when you want the expert advisor to, basically the last date you want the expert advisor to not to trade from the beginning of the year. In these settings, it is the 5th of January, so from the beginning of the year, the expert advisor will not trade until the 5th. So basically, you have this winter holiday from 20th of December until 5th of January next year, when the expert advisor will not trade. Now, the auto GMT, it's used for the trading sessions. So if you don't want the trading sessions, if you don't want to make use of the trading sessions, you might as well ignore it. Otherwise, leave the auto GMT to true. However, if you are testing the expert advisor with the trading sessions enabled, then you might have to enter the manual GMT offset, and you find the instructions on our website how to determine your manual GMT offset. Please go to RobotFX.org and read it. I'm trying to make this video as short and explanatory as possible. And it can be a negative number, of course, a negative or a positive number. And this is it about the trading days. And next are the trading sessions. And within the trading sessions, the trader has the possibility to enable or disable trading per session. So if you set this to false, enable trading sessions, the expert advisor will ignore everything from here until here, and that means it will trade 24/7, or better say 24 the days you have chosen before to trade, 24 hours. Otherwise, if you want the expert advisor to trade, let's say, only the beginning of the New York session, when the high volatility is, you will have to enable trading sessions, disable Tokyo, disable London, and leave only the New York session. Enter the trading start as the trading time, the starting time, when the New York session will open, obviously, and then the ending time, as long as you want to trade the New York session. Obviously, you can set the ending time, the finish of the New York session, until its last minute, last hour. So you trade the entire New York session and ignore all the others. And of course, if you want also to trade the London session, you have to enter it here, to enable it here, and then enter the starting time and the ending time, the finish time of the London session. And don't get confused by the names. It does say Tokyo session, for example, but you can use it to enter the times for the Sydney session. And we just didn't want to have too many inputs that will do the same thing. Enter the enable it by setting it to true, and enter the start and the finish time of the, let's say, Sydney session, and then you will trade Sydney session regardless of what's writing here, Tokyo session, its name. Right, and this is about the trading sessions. And next, in the expert advisor, we will have the entry settings. Next, we have the trend and signal settings. I have talked about this before. I will try not to repeat myself. So can determine the trend based on the trend indicator color, price position of both of them, or just disable the trend indicator. The trend indicator also can be determined, the trend can also be determined on the current time frame, which is my favorite trading style, or a higher time frame depending on the trader's preferences. So enter the time frame right here. And then we have the trend shift and the trend deviation that the trend indicator is using. For that, I will go to the indicator settings. These are the two settings, two inputs that the expert advisor uses. You can ignore all the others. So the shift basically moves the indicator. I'm going to change it from 0, which is current. Moves the indicator left or right. So enter a negative number and it will move it backwards. Enter a positive to move it forwards. default was 0. And the deviation moves the indicator up and down. And this should be a decimal number. It could be useful when determining the trend. There it goes. It moved it up. And if the value is negative, it will move it down. And the default was again 0. And this are the default settings of the Expert Advisor as well. Now the signal has only 2 settings, and those are the signal length and the signal shift. We don't need the signal to move up and down, so we don't make use of the deviation as the trend indicator does. And this is about the trend and the signal settings. And next are the swing zone settings, which is a filter to confirm fake entries. And it has only 2 inputs, the swing zone bars and the pips away from the last swing, which is a value in pips. So the swing zone confirmation has only 3 inputs. The Expert Advisor settings. One is the swing zone bars, which is set to 48. Then there's the pips away from last swing, set to 30. And then the possibility to show the swing levels on the chart, which is set to true. And that means that we can see those 2 nice parallel lines, the swing zone high and the swing zone low, that the price seems to bounce from. Now let's explain them. The swing zone bars means that from the current or the last candlestick, the last candle, the last bar, the Expert Advisor counts back 48 bars, 48 candles. And for that period of time, it determines the level that the price makes, the highest high and the lowest low levels that the price makes at the end of those candles. And one is happening right here, and the other one right here. And then it's draw these parallel lines to encapsulate the price within. And the pips away from last swing basically means that if, for example, there will be a signal right here, happening right now, then the Expert Advisor will measure the distance, because it is an uptrend. It will measure the distance from the signal, from the color, from the moment when the non-lagma indicator changes the color to the swing zone high. And for the downtrend, it will measure the distance from the swing zone low. So from the high, it will measure the distance. If it is bigger than the 30 pips, then it will validate that the trade. It will open it. If it's smaller than 30 pips, it will not validate. It will ignore that signal. So basically, that has been implemented because basically we don't want to open a trade on a highest high level that the price makes. Therefore, when the important move is already finished and there's no more pips to catch, or even worse, the price will return and we will lose money on that trade. So that is the purpose of the swing zone confirmation. And that is why I previously said the chart moved a little bit. This trade here would have probably been ignored, or most likely ignored. And that would have been a good thing, because this going in uptrend as a buy, it would have been a bad trade. So the swing zone confirmation would not have opened this trade. Because as you can see, after that the price reversed and it's falling down. And this is it about the swing zone confirmation. I suggest, if you are trading with the trend, to make use of it. And of course, depending on your time frame, you might want to increase the swings, the pips away from last swing. The 30 pips, it's somehow optimized for the H1 chart. Obviously, on H4 chart or D1 chart, you will want to increase that, or decrease it if you decrease the trading time frame. Now set this to 0, and the Expert Advisor will not make use of the swing zone confirmation. All right, and next are the trading lot size, stop loss, break even, trailing stop, entry, exits, everything related to the trading settings. A lot of the trading settings are self-explanatory. However, I'm going to go through them very fast. First of all, we can instruct the Expert Advisor only to allow buying, or only to allow selling, or both of them if you are trading with the trend, or if you want the Expert Advisor only to hedge trades open manually, then you might want to disable this. And I will talk about hedging soon later. Next option is to enable the lot size management, and by setting it to true, it means that the expert advisor will open trades or the first trade in if there will be more to come, such as hedging or martingale. It will open the first trades based on the percentage of the free margin, and the percentage you have to enter it right here. So 1%, it's 0.01, and I suggest you decrease this and make sure that it is a lot size that your account supports. However, you can also set this to false, and in this case, the expert advisor will use a lot size as a fixed value that you will enter right here. $0.01 obviously is 1 cent. There's a possibility to instruct the expert advisor to set a minimum profit, and this minimum profit is related to when the expert advisor will or what the expert advisor will do when it will reach this minimum profit for hedging trades, which means opposite buys and sells. And I personally use the minimum profit as close to zero as possible. I use it as a profit break even. I will explain it later, but bear in mind that basically it instructs the expert advisor. It could instruct the expert advisor to close all trades on the chart once their profits reach this value that you enter here. Now the stop loss, it's self-explanatory on the take profit. If you are hedging the stop loss and the recoveries, the stop loss becomes a recovery zone, or they use the same input. So it is recovery zone if you are hedging, it is stop loss if you are not hedging. In that case, the expert advisor will place a normal stop loss at the 50 pips distance away from the opening of that trade. Instruct the expert advisor to limit the number of trades opened on the chart by setting the maximum orders to a number that your account will support. Don't set it to a number too high. You probably don't want 99 trades at the same time on the same chart. 7, it's a realistic number. Again, we have break even, which is self-explanatory. Also trailing stop. Break even and trailing stop use the same inputs. The trailing step is set to, well, it is if you are trailing and not hedging using a trailing stop, you probably want to decrease the trailing step, setting much lower, even 1 pip. However, if you are hedging, you might not want to make use of the trailing step at all because you don't want to trail the price. And if that's the case, just enter here a very, very high number that it's impossible to reach. And obviously, in this case, the expert advisor will not be able to trail the price. For now on, let's leave it like this, which is also a very high number. There is the possibility to set a buffer for break even, and also a buffer for, which is the same input, a buffer for the option to close losing trades. I will talk about it immediately. Just bear this in mind, this buffer and the minimum profit. They are important when hedging. Slippage is self-explanatory. These values are in pips, and whenever they are in pips, it also writes there, pips, pips, pips. And finally, here's an important part. Close trades when maximum orders is reached. By default, it is set to false. I personally don't use it, but you might want to use it, who knows. So you have the option to set it to true, and that means that the expert advisor will start closing trades in the order of their opening, making it comfortable with most or with all brokers as soon as it opened the 7th trade. If you are hedging, you might not want to use this again. Now, when minimum profit is reached, the minimum profit that you can input earlier, and for the easier explanation, let's set it to 0. So when the opposite trades on the same chart, buys and sell, reach this amount, 0, then you can instruct the expert advisor to either start closing all trades on the chart, and this is what I have talked about when I have said that I personally use this as a profit break even, because when hedging, what I personally want is, first of all, to close all trades on that chart without any losses. The expert advisor can do that by instructing it to do that just using this option. And there's also the option to start closing the losing trades. Basically means closing the losing trades and set the break even for the winning trades, which is what traders refer to as making losers into winners, or transforming the losers into winners. At that point, the expert advisor will close, let's say the buy trades, will close the buying trades, and if the price is dropping, it will keep the selling trades on the chart opened as soon as all of them will reach this profit. As the price will drop, it will also set the break even for the winning trades, and the break even is set previously right here. That will be the break even, that will be the distance, the buffer. And again, there's also the option to do nothing, which is simply to ignore the minimum profit and don't make use of it. It is very useful again when hedging, therefore when you have opposite trades on the chart. And this is why it was, this is its main purpose. That's how the expert advisor were designed to work. There's also the possibility to close trades at take profit. If you are hedging, then the expert advisor is not placing a take profit, physical take profit, but it's a virtual take profit, and you can instruct the expert advisor to close the trades when it reaches that value. However, you might not want to close them. Again, it depends. It depends on whether you are hedging or not, and about the profits and how many trades you have. What else? There's the possibility to close the trades at non-LagMA signal, which is the main purpose of this trading with the trend using this non-LagMA indicator. By default, it is set to true, but it can be disabled. Maybe you just want to open trades on the non-LagMA signal and let them run. And then we have the possibility to instruct the expert advisor to do something when it will close the trades based on this criteria, which is close trades at maximum orders, close trades based on the minimum profit instructions, take profit, and non-LagMA signal. And we can instruct them, if the expert advisor will execute any of those operations, we can instruct the expert advisor to remove itself from the chart. The scenario is it can be useful in this scenario. Like I said, maybe you are hedging, you have opposite trades on the chart, you want to focus on closing all of them in profit or at a profit break even, which means you don't want to lose any money on those buys and sells while hedging. And after that, you don't want to open any trades on the other chart. Maybe there was a consolidation zone, maybe you want to analyze the chart. You just don't want the expert advisor to place more trades on that chart. That gives you time to analyze what the price might do. In that case, this is a useful option. Just remove the EA from the chart. The expert advisor, as soon as it will have closed all those trades. Or you can also close the MetaTrader completely. Maybe you are trading only on one chart. I don't know. It depends on your trading preferences, or just continue trading if you want to let it on 24/7, 24/5 or 6, depending how many trading days you have chosen actually in the trading days filter above. Okay, so this is what after close trades, when the things above happen, what the expert advisor should do. By default, it probably should be continue trading. And then we have the option to show whether to show or not the comments on the chart. And these are the comments right here. Well, basically information about the lot size, the broker, and so on, the expert advisor's buy and sell buttons. By the way, the expert advisor buy and sell buttons, when used, rather than using the MetaTrader's default buy and sell buttons or the right-click open trade, is that they will be used with a magic number that you enter here. And that leads me to this explanation about the magic number. If it's -1, that means that the expert advisor will not use a magic number. So basically it means that it can monitor by placing the stop loss, trailing the price, hedging, and any other inputs that you are using, any other functions that you are using. It can monitor the trades that are open manually. So However, if you want the expert advisor to open its own trades and trail its own price and hedge its own trades and so on, then just enter here any magic number, any numeric value, and of course make sure it's a magic number that is unique per chart. Right now, I'll leave it to -1. There's a possibility to enter a trade command if you want to monitor trades open by this, open only on this chart, or open with some certain settings. Let's say enter whatever input you want here. It is helpful to later identify the trades in a history. And also the possibility to enable or disable the alerts on signals, or when the expert advisor will place a trade, open it a trade, close a trade, and so on. There are various alerts. They can be only on screen, mobile, notification, email, all of them, or just disable the alerts. I personally never use them, but they are there. And now we are going to a very important part, which is what makes this expert advisor unique: its capability to recover losses from losing trades, and this is the hedging. I'm going to explain very fast the hedging settings, and then I'm going to switch to a PowerPoint demonstration to better explain how you should set the hedging depending on your trading style. So first of all, there is the possibility to choose the hedging method, and this is hedging zone, which is also used by the same algorithm used by the auto recovery expert advisor that we have on the website as a hedging expert advisor only. Hedge fluid, which is hedging with the trend. I will explain shortly. And also just disable hedging completely by setting no hedging. In this case, expert advisor will place stop loss and take profit, the classic stop loss and take profit for those people who don't want to hedge. Now, there's also the possibility to set the hedging lot size multiplier, the hedging lot size multiplier, which is this input right here. So if I set this to 2, that means that the hedging is double, the hedging trade will be double, so the expert advisor will double the lot size of the trade or basket of trades, depending on the settings. And if you disable this and set it to false, and the expert advisor will not use the multiplier, it will use the ratio between the stop loss and the take profit. These values will be used to determine the lot size of the hedging order, the pending order that the expert advisor will place when you are hedging and you open a normal order, an open order. There's the possibility to prevent the double pending order. There are some brokers that for some reason place 2 pending orders instead of 1. Set this to true, so the expert advisor will delete those orders and place only 1 instead. However, if that happens, do mind that it shouldn't happen. I suggest you change the broker better than use the settings, but there's a solution for that as well. By default, it is set to true, so leave it to true, just in case. There's the possibility to hedge only the last order lot size, which is set to false by default. That means that the expert advisor will, for example, double the lot size only of the last open order and not the entire basket of orders as it was designed to work. That's why it is set to false. Obviously, if you set it to true, then it will hedge only the last order, the last open order. And when hedging with the fluid, which means hedging with the trend, when hedging with the trend, hedge also the first trade automatically using the recovery zone. By default, or in my settings, it is set to true. However, to be honest, I never use it. Usually it's false in my situation. And there's also the option to instruct this expert advisor to hedge or not to hedge when gap occurs, like for example when the price jumps and the pending order does not trigger. It happens very rare, but let's say it happens and the price jumps and leaves a gap and the pending order is inside that gap. So that means that maybe the broker decides not to open those pending orders. Then the expert advisor will hedge by placing a trade, an open trade, according to the lot size instruction that you have chosen before. Now let's see how the expert advisor hedges, and this applies to the Expert Advisor to the Auto Recovery Expert Advisor as well, because the NonLagMA Expert Advisor as well as the Fluid Expert Advisor use the same algorithm as Auto Recovery. So basically, hedging looks kind of like this. If you open a cell, or the Expert Advisor opens a cell, it will then place an opposite order at the recovery zone, and that applies hedging the fixed recovery zone at a certain distance on the opposite side, an opposite order at a certain lot size, which is usually higher than the initial order, so that the price, if the price does not go in your favor and hits that pending order, then the Expert Advisor automatically places another pending order. The lot size is again calculated, so then it will cover the losses if the price decides to reverse again, and so on. So from how it looks, we can say that you should probably not hedge if you are in a consolidation zone, but it shouldn't be a problem anyway, because you have the possibility to instruct the Expert Advisor to limit the open orders. Now, the Expert Advisor can choose, as I have said before, can choose the hedging lot size based on the relationship between the stop loss and take profit, or use the lot size multiplier. It can choose a hedging method based on the basket of trades, or a single trade, which is the lot size. Or you can choose a hedging type, or a trader can choose a hedging type based on the fixed recovery zone, or trading signals, which is trading with the trend. Now, let's see them one by one. If you are hedging based, if you use the lot size, or if you want to calculate a lot size of the hedging orders based on the relationship between the stop loss and take profit, first of all, make sure that the use hedge multiplier is set to false. And then the Expert Advisor you'll use will determine the lot size like this. If the stop loss equals the take profit, then the lot size of the hedging order will double. If the stop loss is smaller than the take profit, the lot size will decrease, and if the stop loss is bigger than take profit, the lot size will increase. If I'm speaking too fast or you don't understand me for some reason, feel free to pause the video and write this down. I'll take a screenshot of the, save it for later if you want. So this is basically how to hedge, how to determine the lot size when hedging based on the relationship between stop loss and take profit. It is a more advanced, maybe more mathematical method, and if you are not comfortable with it or you don't make any use of it, just use the multiplier. It is much easier. Set the use hedge multiplier to true. The Expert Advisor will then ignore the ratio between recovery zone or stop loss and the take profit, and it will use the multiplier, which is 2 in this case. That means double the lot size. So this is it. If the hedge multiplier is bigger than 1, the lot size of the hedging orders will increase, as hedging is designed to work. However, you can make it smaller than 1 and the lot size will decrease. If you are willing, maybe if the price reverses, if you are willing to maybe lose some money just to close that order. Again, it depends on the hedging style. In my case, or how I hedge, it is always higher. And obviously, if the multiplier equals to 1, the lot size will be the same, which is kind of beats the purpose of hedging at all. Now, we can hedge. You can hedge baskets of opposite trades, and we can also hedge opposite single orders. If we hedge, if we hedge baskets of opposite trades, it means that the Expert Advisor will calculate the lot size of the next order so that all the opposite orders, all the hedging orders will be able to cover all the initial open orders. Well, using the lot size that was determined before. So in this case, you have to set the hedge last order lot size to false. So in this scenario right here, let's say you open a cell which is 0.1. The Expert Advisor will, with these settings right here, using the hedge multiplier to true and hedge multiplier being 2, which is double. It means that the next hedging order will be 0.2, and then the next hedging order will be 0.3, and that is because 0.1 plus 0.3 equals 0.4, and 0.4 is double than the opposite, which is so far 0.2. Remember, we have a multiplier which is 2, which is double, and that means that the next order is 0.6. The next pending order is 0.6, and that is because 0.2 plus 0.6, obviously 0.8, which is hedge multiplier double when the opposite orders 0.4, and so on. So then the next order right here, if you haven't guessed it already, it should be 0.8, right? No. 0.8 we have above, so below we should have 1.6. So far we have 0.4, so this should be 1.2. Right, it writes here actually. Now, if you want to hedge only the last order, another basket of orders, then you will have to set the hedge last order lot size to true, and with the same settings, double the hedging multiplier. It means that if you open 0.1, the next will be 0.2, but the next hedging order will be 0.4, and then the opposite one, the next opposite order will be 0.8, and so on, 1.6, 3.2, and the lot size might also increase a little too fast. Obviously, the price will, and it will eventually break in your favor, the losing orders will close faster, and the earned orders will close faster at the profit chosen by you, the minimum profit, and you will be able to start again. But the idea is still not to have too many open orders on the same chart, and most important, too many open orders with higher lot size. So that again depends on your trading style. It might or might not be a solution for you. My favorite is hedging baskets of opposite trades and not hedging single orders because of that. Now there is the possibility to hedge a recovery zone, which is the recovery zone settings in the Expert Advisor settings. It was set to 50 pips if I remember well. Same use for stop loss, which basically means that the Expert Advisor will place a pending order at a fixed distance, 50 pips from the initial order. In this case, what happens here is that the Expert Advisor, what exactly happened here? The Expert Advisor opened this sell. However, the price reversed, entire trend reversed, as we can see. It changed, the NonLagMA changed the color from black into white. However, thanks to the hedging order, which is this buy, which was a higher lot size, soon the sum of those profits reached zero, or reached the minimum profit that was set by me. And the Expert Advisor was able to close both of these orders, one winning the buying order, obviously one losing the selling order, but both of them were closed at the minimum profit, zero. Probably it was set to $0. So I was able not to lose any money. The advantage is between hedging versus the stop loss is that if I was using a stop loss, I would have lost money on the stop loss already. However, by hedging, I didn't lose anything, or I lost from the sell but gained from the buy. So basically, I didn't lose anything. And there is also the possibility to to hedge with the trend, and for that you must choose hedging method fluid. And that means that the Expert Advisor will not place an opposite order. Instead, it will wait for the trend to change, and only if the trend will change and if there will be a valid signal, as it happened right here, then the Expert Advisor will place this hedging order. It will open the order directly, no more pending orders. So it opened this buy right here, higher lot size, and the same scenario happened when the sum of these orders, one losing and one winning money, reached zero for the minimum profit set by the trader. Both were closed, and then the Expert Advisor focused on opening the next order according to the new trend, which is now an uptrend, as we can see from the NonLagMA color. So there are advantages and disadvantages for each kind of hedging. Of course, it depends on the trader's trading style and trading preferences, and also most important, what's happening on the chart and the trader's risk appetite. Why not? Some like to risk, some other not. And that leads me to the next and final settings in the Expert Advisor, which is the martingale. There is the possibility to enable or disable the martingale. However, if you are using the martingale and we have or the Expert Advisor close the trades in a loss, the last trade, then the Expert Advisor will also apply a multiplier, which is can be entered right here, which will increase the lot size of the next order. So obviously, if the martingale multiplier is 2, that means that if you have lost 0.1 previously, I mean 0.1 lot size trade, regardless of its loss, and the Expert Advisor will place the next open order according to Expert Advisor signal with 0.2, double from 0.1. And if that will be, it's also there's also an option to retry martingale a couple of times. I suggest you don't get greedy with this, because this is why martingale fails. To be honest, I martingale only one time. I do it by default. It is 3. Again, it depends on the trader's risk appetite and the trading preferences. And if I set it to only to 1, it means that the Expert Advisor will double the lot size only one time. So if one trade was a loss, the next one will have double the lot size, and then the third one will resume with the lot size that I have instructed at the beginning in the lot size settings right here. Otherwise, if you're losing the money on the second, the martingale trade, let's say, you on the second trade, and you have this number to retry 2 times, that means that the Expert Advisor will double the lot size again. So it will martingale the martingale trade. I think it makes sense. And finally, our contact link. If you have any questions, feel free to go to our website and ask any questions you might have right there. And this ends this explanation. Next time I'm gonna show you a demo in the strategy tester how the Expert Advisor works, and I'll show you also the settings of the Expert Advisor. Until then, reminder again that this Expert Advisor can be downloaded for free to try on the demo accounts. And for watching for so long, I'll also show you a coupon to make your purchase easier. I don't remember if I showed you already. And you can use the coupon if you are using card as a payment, which is actually Stripe. And the coupon is YTVideo10. Apply it and it will give you a discount at 10%, and to make your purchase easier. Now, let's go to MetaTrader, wherever that is, and see how the Expert Advisor performs in the strategy tester for the previous year. Alright, so for the purpose of understanding how the Expert Advisor works, I'm going to test it and let it run for the entire 2022 year until the moment of shooting, the date of shooting this video, which is today, 21st of May. And these are the settings. Feel free to pause the video if you want to, I don't know, check them or copy them. However, of course, it has to be said that this is a strategy test, that it is designed to test for functionality and not for profitability. So if you want to test for profitability, you really have to go to the website and download this and try it on your demo account. Now, without further delay, let's start testing. And I'm going to change the speed to 31 so we can see how the Expert Advisor performs. Alright, so this ends the testing. By watching it, I hope you have understood how the NonLagMA Expert Advisor performs and how it works and its logic, especially the one behind hedging and how the hedging algorithm work. Now, these are the results for this period of time, 2022. Again, I have used the open prices only so the strategy tester will run faster. Obviously, you have to choose to every tick when you will do it yourself. And these are the results. Although we're testing for functionality and not profitability, the profit looks quite fine. And again, I'm going to advise you to head to our website, which is robotfx.org, and download this. It is free to download. And all the information that I have talked about, and maybe something I have also missed, is on the Expert Advisor's web page, which is right here. Click the download for a free version. And well, try it and tell us what you think. And if you decide to purchase, do make use of the discount coupon that I have shown you previously in this video. Thank you for watching and good luck trading.